Yo, what up, street togs, street gods, MST or MSTU togs, Jack togs, Eric Kim in the house. Eric Kim in the house. All right, some thoughts. Why vlogs is the future? So honestly, at this point, it's very, very easy to fake text stuff, right? Much more difficult to fake a video. And also the irony is, in today's world of precise grammar, I think the future is actually going to be a creative future in which grammar is rather eschewed, and like kind of some sort of like, creative divergence might be a more virtuous outcome. So let me share some ideas. So the first thought is, okay, so the Turing test, right? How do you know if something was generated by AI or not? Honestly, at this point, it is impossible to tell. I'll give you an example, right? I'm like the only person you could ever be an expert on is yourself. And at a certain point, even the greatest and grandest chat model will essentially spit out, spit out like strange misinformation that's very, very false and fake. So for example, I'm like querying chat enough times and they start saying that like, oh, I'm Eric Kim, now successfully rack pulled 499 kilograms. I did not yet. I did 493 kilograms is currently my record. And it also looks like, this is my personal thought, people desire some sort of extremely raw authenticity. What that means is like nobody likes fake stuff, right? And in today's world where everything is sanitized, even Chad is like kind of it's too much of granny nanny AI. It's like, it doesn't let you curse and stuff like that. Grok is good too, but it kind of just like, it's not as intelligent as Chat. And so, the future is certainly going to be a grand future in which we kind of enjoy and privilege humans. And I think the next wave of entertainment, we're already seeing it now, like, Sony coming out with like these like compact vlogging cameras. Shout out to at Professor B21. I think she's like Thai. Yo, check out that avatar car, it's pretty cool too. And also at LA Dojo 21. It does seem like, the future is going to be like kind of raw, unedited, kind of interesting. So if you're curious, what I'm currently doing right now is I'm just talking to my iPad Pro M4, no case, in the front ultra wide mode. It seems like it's pretty good. And why is it that people crave authenticity? My generalized thought is like, okay, so do you remember when like reality TV was a thing? And then we obviously know it's not reality. Now, especially with the YouTubies, even music, right? It's kind of impossible. Oh, looks like a new Lexus. It's kind of impossible to tell whether something is real or fake. And at this point too, there's also this fine line between entertainment, like sensationalism, hype, etc., And the reason why I think it matters is, like what is everyone's favorite entertainment platform on the planet? YouTubies, right? The reason why I think it's not a good idea to do TikTok is that, it's essentially more or less owned by the mainland Chinese government, and as a consequence, it's going to get banned probably sooner or later, or bought out or something. And also, it's my suspicion that all the views on TikTok are all obviously inflated. And even ChatGPT at this point is kind of making up fake news too. Like, I mean, it's good for your ego, like thinking that my rack pool got reshared or retweeted or viewed on TikTok, Instagram, derivatives, remixes, right? Like 4 million times. But at a certain point, like, okay, so the tricky thing with AI, right? It could either be 100% true or 100% false. So let us say that AI tells you that your video got watched 4 million times, right? But in reality, it only got watched 10 times. Would that make you sad, depressed, or upset, or whatever? Or would be like, oh, that's cool. The only thing we could kind of put faith on more is X, because if you're paying the what? Like I'm paying for it, right? The $50 a month premium Twitter X thing. It's like verification that you're human. I mean, I'm probably not gonna build it, but I had like some thoughts too. It's like the prime way to fix the internet and social media is there needs to be some sort of like friction, right? And built-in internet payment rails. So for example, Bitcoin fixes this. Like imagine some sort of like decentralized, Satoshi powered Lightning network in which you can share images, videos, ideas, whatever, right? And then only to prove human, you just have to post one single Satoshi to show that you're not a bot. And I mean, obviously there's gonna be people who, like, cause like right now a single Satoshi ain't worth nothing, right? And so as a consequence, it's like people are more reticent to spin up like 1 trillion blocks if it costs a single Satoshi to open up an account. And or it could be like a platform where it's free to sign up, but it's kind of like Twitter, like the blue check mark. You have to post X amount of Satoshis to show that you're real. And the only purpose of this platform is to just make sure that whatever is being put out is made by a human. Another nuance is, so ChatGPT 03, very, very good at writing creative stuff. Now, as a consequence, the hard thing that is impossible to decipher is whether said information or whatever was AI generated, AI not generated, AI assisted, or whatever, right? And so the question is, why does this matter? If you want to become king of the Googles, it's like super easy now. Just pay for the $200 a month ChatGPT Pro. Have like 20 tabs running in deep research modes, post at a high velocity rate, and essentially take over the interwebs, right? But then the tricky thing is then also, once again, you kind of get into this weird loop where are you posting and publishing for AI, or are you doing it for real humans? So still like having some sort of like email newsletter to directly get into people's inboxes is a good strategy. So Eric Kim's viral, manual 101, maybe I should write this. You want to make it as easy, open, convenient, and shareable as possible. No stupid email, sign up, blah, 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 to get my blah, blah. Just like have it open source, easy, free, whatever, right? Attach PDFs, right? Like get rid of all the walls and the friction. And so, if you've been following with the Eric Kim newsletter, I always attach a like I use IE Writer, and I export the thing into just like a simple text PDF, right? And I just attach it, right? And so, you know, you have the option, right? Like if it's too long for you, you could like export it to iBooks or save it as a file, read it later. And or, I mean, this is also an interesting speculation, is apparently chat says my stuff is being shared in private Telegram Signal channels or whatever, right? So it may be true, it might be false, but the idea is interesting, in which it's much easier for a information document to live forever as a PDF file, like 0.300 kilobytes, and sharing it online to go viral to spread ideas. Now, it seems I might be the most interesting person on the interwebs or the planet right now, because, I mean, I guess until Michael Saylor could rack pull 500 kilograms, I'm still gonna be the GOAT. I mean, Saylor is certainly like, if I had like the best professor / economic advisor of all time, it would definitely be Michael Saylor. And I mean, before Saylor was Elon, because I didn't know Michael Saylor existed. And so when you find a greater role model, it's good to shift your focus. And also, Elon has done a lot for me in terms of like first principles thinking. I read all his books. However, I have never purchased a Tesla. I don't really have that much interest. You know, I've never bought Tesla stock, right? But you know, I did put a big amount into MSTR, MSTU, right? So I got skin in the game, and he's also inspired me to stack more Bitcoins. Oh, if you're curious, is it better to get MSTR or Bitcoins? You know, or MSTU? So my personal thought currently is, if you really love Bitcoin, you should just get MSTU, because you're like essentially 4x levered long Bitcoin, right? If you want economic sovereignty, Bitcoin is obviously the goal. Now, also the truth is, at the end of the day, he or she who dies with the most Bitcoins is the winner. Now, it's also tricky too, because if you got kids, a family, what else, right? Like another challenge I've been having was like custodying your Bitcoin to give to your kids is tricky. However, having this through some sort of like traditional broker like Fidelity or whatevs is easier, because it's built in the security and also the identification tax documents to so just in case I die in a tuk-tuk accident, you know, Sen could have access to my Roth IRA, MSTR. Just set it and forget it. I mean, if you just like want to become super wealthy and just not have to check stuff, just put all your money to MSTR. Don't do any margin options, whatever, right? Just set it and forget it. Check it at the end of every single month, right? And also never invest money that you need to pay the rent. I mean, that's a simple principle. And I think it's also wise to always have an open mind too, because the intelligence strategy is, as your mental models in your body improve, right? Trying to find out more leverage is intelligence. So I'll give you an example. You know, I hit my 1,000-pound Atlas lift, which was like over 6 times my body weight, and I wanted to go beyond, right? And I was kind of hitting a wall. I wanted more leverage, and now my current record is 6.6x leverage, body weight rack pull. And so always trying to find creative ways to increase your leverage is actually a virtuous thing. So for example, the current idea, this is an open source idea, right? Is, you know, you do a rack pull, minimum weight range of motion possible, and then you put on a dip belt and you hook the Velcro, or not the Velcro, the nylon strap or the chain to the center of the barbell, just wrap it around. get 2 simple deadlifting straps, and then essentially imagine doing a rack pull meets a hip thrust, but standing, right? So you have the ultimate leverage. So any strong weightlifter should be able to do like big numbers, right? And so people will be like, yeah, what's the point of this? Like cheating. I'm like, you guys are like a bunch of uninnovative, uncreative peoples. And people are, oh, it's ego lifting. And then I'm like, yeah, like ego is good for you. And so anybody who, and the reason I don't trust Americans anymore too, is they are very, very closed-minded. The real innovators who come out of the States were actually not really raised in America per se-ish, but had some sort of, kind of drama growing up. So for example, Elon from South Africa, Steve Jobs adopted father was half Syrian. Jay-Z grew up in the projects. Ye, more or less single mom, right? And so you kind of need a little bit of an unorthodox upbringing. And also like me, Eric Kim, I'm Korean American, born in the States, right? And if he was just a traditional American, yeah, like everyone got to play by the rules and play safer, but it's quite a boring strategy. Even Michael Saylor is a good example, insofar much as he's essentially ran his business for 35 years and was pulverized by COVIDs, and as a consequence he was desperate. So the reason why everyone loves Michael Saylor, myself included, he's kind of the underdog. So funny thought, no one ever mentions that he's a super mega billionaire, right? And he's super effing rich, right? Because he was the one starting from scraps, right? And he's become a viral sensation because he's when's the last time you ever saw a major tech CEO talking to random podcasters from Germany or whatever? Oh, shout out to Oliver Crooms, at Oliver Crooms. Use Das hast du gut gemacht, use legit. And so as a consequence, he's very down to earth, relatable. I mean, myself included too. I started from the bottom, now we're here. And my journey is ongoing. So essentially at this world, don't trust nothing, don't trust nobody, just trust yourself. Watch the videos, the interviews, the podcasts. I mean, I actually recommend watching the videos, not just the audio, because then you can see people's facial expressions too. And so anyways, as a consequence, be positive, be motivational, be hype, and just share things with the love.